Hello. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing good. Here we go with another video. And I'm suggesting that we all need to return to sanity. I mean, some of the comments I get are so off the wall. Just got another one. I mean, it's just unreal. These people aren't thinking. Especially the skeptic. Do you ever notice the people that are the skeptics and atheists as the responses? It's like they're out of touch with reality. They're not even in touch with reality. They're attributing amazing things to natural causes. And it's like they're living in this world. They're blinded. They can't see that it's just impossible for a natural cause, for even the existence of natural things, let alone every directed working mechanism inside of every living organism. It's like, you know, let's focus. Let's focus. Let's try to get it together. We're still getting comments here, off the wall comments. It's like back and forth, back and forth. This one guy saying, yeah, but I didn't claim a natural cause. Yeah, but you denied the supernatural cause. So by default, you're claiming a natural cause. Come on. It's back and forth, back and forth. It's like, come on, naturalism is your belief and your claim. Assume it, admit it, and back it up. Back it up. Prove that energy can make itself. Prove that matter can make itself. Prove that matter and energy can direct themselves and order themselves. Come on, people, wake up. Get back to reality. I mean, these are skeptics, people that don't know the Lord and everything, so they're totally out of it, totally misled. But then again, Christians too are off on a tangent here, off on a tangent there, and on this thing here and that thing there. And it's like, come on, let's get back. Let's focus. Let's focus. See what's important in life. What's important, you know, not to say I'm all that myself either. I mean, here I am, a former schizophrenic, you know, which I was, which people don't believe, you know, but I was schizophrenic for 3 to 4 years, which is the requirement for schizophrenia. Otherwise, just like a mental breakdown or something. But if you're months on end with it, you know, it's a hopeless cause, except that I was able to beat it by rewiring my mind, rewiring everything that I believed. And I just focused on each thing, every habit of thought that I had, because we have habits of thought. That's reactive, right? You see something and your mind immediately reacts and says, interprets that this is this and that's that. Hello, Steve. How are you doing? I was lost, but now I'm found. Yeah, exactly. So I had to focus on each and every individual thought that I had and my reaction to whatever the thing that caused me to think about it, right? Young Earth Creation, how are you? How you doing, Batman? So in that way, I was able to correct everything, and I had to determine what was absolutely true. What is the absolute truth? And I was raised a Christian, and I knew, so I knew that Jesus was Lord, and I, that's the absolute truth. So I, of course, held on to that. And by rejecting all my what do you call them? They call them hallucinations and delusions. They call it delusions. We're thinking crazy things, speaking gibberish and nonsense, and so I had to like focus on each thing. I thought I was doing miracles, casting out demons, all this stuff, and so I had to reject each of those things. Telepathy, all that stuff. I thought I was reading people's minds and everything. So I had to like reject all the way down the line, everything I was believing I thought was true. I had to like get rid of it, even if it was true, for the sake of my sanity. I said, get rid of it. Just pay no attention to it. Get rid of it. And that's the only reason why I'm a little bit sane today. And I joke about that too, because you have to joke about it sometimes. But anyways, yeah, man, it's like people are all over the place with this thing. Of course, the world is totally out of control. Everybody's everywhere. But, Americans are patriots and everything, and but then they're going their own way, and everybody. I mean, in some ways it's a good thing everybody has a different path, because not everybody can go down the same path. Everybody has different gifts. Everybody has different things to contribute. And even the skeptics and atheists are doing a lot of work that we don't have time to do. We don't have time to study monkeys or grasshoppers or stuff like that. But it's a lot of good information sometimes. And they're servants of God too. They're unwilling servants of God, but they're serving a purpose, right? And everybody has their place. But I don't know. I just think we need to be a little bit more focused. The skeptics and atheists, they're all over the place, back and forth, back and forth. And they keep coming back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It just, come on. You believe in a natural cause, prove naturalism. Prove it. The evidence is of a supernatural creator, because no physical thing can make itself. No physical thing can order itself, direct itself. Mechanisms don't make themselves. So the evidence is of a supernatural creator. You believe otherwise, prove it. Back it up with science. Prove that energy and matter can make themselves. Prove that energy and matter can order themselves. And if you can't, stop teaching it to kids. Just stop teaching it to kids. Evolution is nonsense. Stop teaching it to kids. Random Green, hello. God gives us the evidence. It's what we do with it. Right. And the evidence is right in front of us. It's right in front of us, right? Everywhere around us. And people just, they turn a blind eye. Of course, people are indoctrinated to believe different things, and they keep on insisting to, believe what they believe and stuff like that. But I know we all need the guidance of the Holy Spirit to teach us and guide us into all truth. There we go. Young Earth Creation says, I want to see a natural law form. Ha ha ha, just one. A natural law. Yeah. And another thing is that not only do we have natural laws, we have the possibility of natural laws being superseded, which is an outright miracle, such as Jesus walking on water, healing the sick, raising the dead, axe heads floating. Well, some of that could be actually natural, really, because like the earth standing still, considering that the outer crust is going one way and the inner crust is going the opposite way, you could easily, have the Earth stand still. The outer crust could easily stand still and then start going again. You know, it's not complicated, right? And an axe head floating, well, maybe somehow there was a magnetic force somehow just pushed the thing up out of the water. I don't know. It could be, it could be a natural thing, but even the natural things are all ordained of God. There is no power that's not of God to begin with. And every natural thing is from a supernatural cause to begin with. So, of course, if we believe in the resurrection, which is supernatural, then we have to believe in the creation and vice versa, because it's all, it's all supernatural origin to begin with. And we know that everyone will be raised, to give an account for everything everybody ever did. And that'll be something. That'll be some someday, right? Where everybody's going to have to face everything they did, and whether or not they were telling the truth or not, whether or not they were focused and in their right mind and helping others and teaching others the truth as well, which is what I appreciate with Donnie and Matt. They're in the ministry, doing the best they can, doing everything they can, researching every little nook and cranny of scientific papers here and there, and bringing it to us so that we have a notion of what's going on as far as the research is concerned. Random Green says evolution. Like I'm supposed to believe that we came here by accident and I was a tadpole at once. If that's the case, we evolved, then deer should be able to be scientists according to evolutionary defenders. Yeah. The thing is, I watched a video today on about Darwin, and he was confused by the variation of species because everywhere he went around the world for the first time, which a lot of people didn't have a chance to do, but he was on the Beagle, went to all the way from Brazil, all different up and down rivers in Brazil, all around Brazil. Then went around to the Galapagos Island, or Chile and the Galapagos Island, and he saw all this variety, all this variation, and he knew that they were, he recognized that a finch is a finch and different things are things, but he saw all this variety, this variation, and he was confused by that because variation is possible of a given kind. You can have variation, you just can't have one kind turning into another kind because the information has to be there. The information of an elephant will only make an elephant or a mastodon or a mammoth or whatever. It'll make an elephant-like creature. The information for a cat will only make a cat. And you have the variation early on. Hello, Alex. How you doing? You have the variation early on. For example, in the cat kind, you have a lot of variation. I mean, there might be more than one thing that we call a cat, but there was the separation and isolation happened early on. In other words, there was families that went different places. It's the same thing with people too. Families went different places, isolated, and adapted to the environment they were in. Same thing with animals. Animals, the bigger ones separated, went among themselves. The smaller ones went among themselves. The jaguars went among themselves, or which was leopards, the same thing. Of course, leopards and jaguars are worldwide almost. They go in the mountains, Asia, everywhere. Tigers isolated to themselves, lions isolated among themselves. Cheetahs were raised by the Egyptians, probably, and became bottlenecked. Jungle jargon evolution theory is still a bust. It's just like, come on, people, think, face the reality, and, let's get it together. And if you can't back up what you believe, don't teach it to kids. Don't be teaching some anything without a basis. Animals with thumbs confuse evolutionists. No magical morphin monkeys, right? Yeah, they got thumbs on their feet. Uh, but all the changes, all the differences, there's a genome to account for it. And that's another thing, is that Neanderthals are Eurasians. Eurasians have more in common with Neanderthals than the Africans that are supposed to have come after or next in line after Neanderthals. So how can Africans have less in common with Neanderthals than Eurasians? Eurasian is the more original genome anyways, but the point being is that Neanderthals had a lot of traits that we don't have, a lot of abilities that we don't have. They had better eyesight, better smell, better hearing, better, stronger frame, smarter brain, and they had a genome to account for everything. That's the thing. The thing you have to understand, whatever you have, whether it's monkey parts, human parts, you have to have a genome to account for it. If you have bird parts, you have the genome to account for it. If it's a dinosaur, it's a genome to account for it. You can't be jumping from dinosaur to bird. It's either one thing or the other. And there's not that, not, 20 million years isn't enough for evolution. Hello, Dana. How are you doing? Greetings. Cheetahs were bred. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Cheetahs were bred by the Babylonians first, probably. They were used for hunting, and the hunting leopard. Yes, and I believe Egyptians used them as well. They probably got them from the Babylonians because the Babylonians were first. But that's the reason why the cheetah is so bottlenecked. It's so bottlenecked because of the breeding. It was bred for hunting or bred for racing or whatever. It was used for hunting probably. Anyway, but it's so much that you have to like keep track of, just like logical, rational, reasonable facts, and then you live accordingly or speak accordingly according to those facts. 14 billion years isn't enough. Yeah. And time is a different thing anyways, because distant starlight arrives faster than our rate of time. Our rate of time, 13.8 billion years, is a long time in our rate of time. But if you're in outer space, it runs at a faster rate of time, and the measure of distance isn't as far to begin with. So the distance is less distance than what we think it is, what our projection is. So it's less distance to begin with, less units, because they're bigger units. It's more expanded, right? So they're bigger units, so there's less units than what our projection is to the distant galaxy. So it's less distance to begin with, and it's existing or arriving to us at a faster rate of time. So it's the same thing when the Bible says a day is like 1,000 years to God, and 1,000 years is like a day. If you relate that or convert it to miles per second, and it works out in order for distant starlight to reach us. Because I checked it out one time. Everything after its kind. Yeah, Egyptians Egyptian, they mummified and buried their cats and stuff. After their kind. Everything's after their kind. So yeah, we have to, you know, everything we say has to be level-headed. It can't be off the wall, can't be irrational or without evidence, because there's so much. I mean, I guess it just became like tradition to teach evolution. Oh, it's a tradition. So you keep on teaching, no matter how much evidence comes against evolution. It's a tradition. It's a tradition, because of people believe Darwin, and then regardless of all the fakes and frauds and everything, they kept on believing it, kept on believing it, kept on believing it. Now we have understanding of DNA. They still believe it. Come on, throw the thing out. It doesn't work. We have a creator. You can't get out of it. We have a creator. That's the reality, is that we have a creator. And of course, the creator is our only hope for salvation, to be recreated anyways. He created us once. He can recreate us again, and he will. Everyone. He will raise both the righteous and the unrighteous. Okay, have you heard Richard Dawkins has reached a low level panspermia, saying that it's the best reasoning? Why, but the reason why Richard Dawkins is talking about panspermia or commons, the reason why he's saying that is because he can see the impossibility of evolution occurring here on Earth. So he thinks life came from elsewhere, but you still can't change from one kind to another kind without, you know, billions and billions of successive, um, viable, beneficial mistakes being selected for. It's just nonsense. It's total nonsense. I can't even believe why, there's people with PhDs are supposed to be so intelligent. They don't, I mean, to me, it doesn't seem like they have even the IQ to understand that mathematically evolution is totally ludicrous anyways. There's Doki Doki. Honesty, random green, what you see. God bless you, Doki Doki. Doki was giving out candy this morning. Doki Doki was giving out free stuff this morning. God bless you, Doki Doki. You're a blessing. That's for sure. Um, but anyway, I guess that's about it. We need to be level-headed. We need to be rational, reasonable, and if not, don't be teaching nonsense to kids. Let's see. God created the evidences of a creator. The evidence of God is just face the fact. You have a creator. That's it. Just face the fact. God created groups of animals after their kind. Lion can't be a monkey. Right, because there's information. The information is not the same. Like, come on, where's the IQ of these people? I don't get it. Yeah. See, we live in perfect habitable conditions. It's like everything. Everything is, 20 of the most common elements. Each one of the 20 elements are essential for life. Without hydrogen or without carbon or without any one of those 20 elements, there wouldn't be life, because it's essential for each of those 20 elements, plus the molecules and everything, are essential for life. And they're the most common elements. But each one is a essential working part inside. I'm a mechanic. If you don't have the essential working part, you're not going to have a car. And there's no such thing as magical morphin monkeys. They will be live. Oh, let me see. They will be live in aliens far before God. In aliens far before God. Oh, they will believe. Yeah, they'll believe. They'll believe. I mean, that's another thing. They'll believe in aliens, and they do believe in aliens, but they won't believe in God. Like, come on, where's the rationale? Anyways, I think I wasted enough of everybody's time, and I got to get going myself in a little bit. So God bless everybody. Take care, and stay close to rationality, reason, and truth, because that's what we need for our salvation. The truth will set us free. God bless everybody. Take care.